welcome to City and Hill Kitchen Online. I'm Lula.
And I'm Jamie.
And today we're going to be talking about the parables of the mustard seed.
But that will be after a time of worship.
Your love for me is sweet, so I am every day. Your arms are open wide, with love I can't describe. Each day I love you more, it's better than before. And it's right there in your word, that I can trust you, Lord. The more I taste of you, the more I need of you. Fill me through and through with your love. Oh, so sweet, oh, so fine. Jesus came to save me, and he's with me all the time. Oh, so sweet, oh, so true. Because you love me, Jesus, I have a sweet life in you. Your love for me is sweet, so I am every day. Your arms are open wide, with love I can't describe. Each day I love you more, it's better than before. It's right there in your word, that I can trust you, Lord. The more I taste of you, the more I need of you. Fill me through and through with your love. Oh, so sweet, oh, so fine. Jesus came to save me, and he's with me all the time. Oh, so sweet, oh, so true. Because you love me, Jesus, I have a sweet life in you. Oh, so sweet, oh, so fine. Jesus came to save me, and he's with me all the time. Oh, so sweet, oh, so true. Because you love me, Jesus, I have a sweet life in you. Oh yeah, I have a sweet life in you. I do. I have a sweet life in you.
We are starting a new series on parables that Jesus spoke about. Do you remember what a parable is? That's right. It's a short story that can make things clear. Jesus used lots of parables, as I said, to tell stories, to talk to people in days of old. And you can find these parables in some of the Gospels, the Gospel of Matthew, Mark, and Luke. Today, we are going to take a parable from the book of Matthew, Matthew chapter 13, verses 31 and 32. Let me read it to you. The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed, which a man took and sowed in his field, which is indeed the smallest of all seeds. But when it is grown, it is greater than the herbs and becomes a tree, so that the birds of the air come and rest in its branches. Jesus was explaining to those listening to him how big the kingdom of heaven was going to grow. Indeed, the mustard seed is small. As a matter of fact, it probably was the smallest of seeds that you could find in the Middle East where Jesus Christ was. Most of the people who were listening to Jesus could probably identify with this because most of them were either farmers or came from families that were farming families. Now, a couple of things about mustard seeds. Indeed, they're really, really tiny, but they grow quickly once planted. And when they grow, they just grow to be shrubs, usually not more than 3 feet tall, although I've read that you can get some mustards that grow up to 10 feet high. But in this case, the one that Jesus was talking about grew to be a tree. Not just being a tree, that the branches allowed nests to be built. Not one nest, not two nests, but nests. It's unusual for shrubs to become trees. So even though the kingdom of heaven started off very small in their eyes, it is growing. Not just growing, it's growing very quickly. And it's growing so large that lots of people are coming into it. And that's true today. Those who were followers of Jesus may have been initially few in number, but today there are billions who follow Jesus. Can you imagine? Billions. Billions is a pretty large number. Suffice to say, the kingdom of heaven is large and is still growing. For today, that's the end of the story.
Hey everybody, how are you? You might be thinking, well, what are we doing today? You haven't got very much in front of you, just this piece of folded paper about the size of a bag of crisps. And do you know what? Some people, it seems like the kingdom of heaven is even less significant than a bag of crisps. Maybe people in your school, people in your street, it seems like they're not interested in God. What is the kingdom of God to them? They'd rather have a bag of crisps. But a bag of crisps maybe lasts for 5 minutes. It comes and it goes. But the kingdom of God, it grows. And some things we enjoy for much more than 5 minutes, don't we? Say a sports match or a movie that we love. That lasts a few hours. But those things, they still come and they go. But the kingdom of God, it grows. And some things might be important to us for a whole week, maybe school camp or a show that we're part of. Some things are so important, but do you know what? They come and go. But the kingdom of God, it grows. And some things might be important to us for years. Maybe a pet that we love, or school itself, that will go on for about 13 years, won't it? But even these things, they come and go, but the kingdom of God, it grows. And some things are going to last us even longer than that. They'll last all the way till you're an adult. Some friendships that you have, they're going to be important for a very long time, years and years. But even those things, they come and go. But the kingdom of God, it grows. And some things are going to be important our entire lives. Maybe the home that you live in, maybe your family. It's going to matter for your whole life. But you know what? Even our lives, they come and go. But the kingdom of God, it grows. It's grown so big, I'm not even going to be able to see you behind here if I hold it up. And so you can see what I've done is I've taken the biggest piece of paper I could find. It was some packaging, I think, from something, and I've smoothed it out. And I've drawn this big picture. I've drawn a crown at the top that says the kingdom of God. It's quite a simple crown, but it's got these sparkly jewels. And then underneath, I've drawn a huge crowd. You'll see the people at the front. They're just stick men, but I've drawn them quite big and I've given them arms and legs and bodies. And then the people behind, just a smiley face and arms. And then the people behind that, just a smiley face and a neck. And then just smiley faces getting smaller and smaller. And then as the crowd goes further and further into the distance, just little circles. And then in the end, just little dots to give the impression of this massive crowd. Because there are lots of things in our life that might be important to us. But there's only one thing that's going to last forever, isn't it? That's our relationship with God, being part of His kingdom. And so that's why I've drawn this huge picture, and it started so small, Because it might sometimes feel like, what difference is the kingdom of God making? Nobody in my school seems to follow Jesus. Nobody in my street seems to follow Jesus. But God has promised us that it is going to grow and grow and grow. So why don't you try finding a huge piece of paper? The first thing you want to do is to fold it up like this. So just in half and in half again. I found that I could fold it 6 times. You might be able to do it 5 or 7. I don't think you'll be able to do it more than that. And then you can think of different things to tell your story that are important for different lengths of time, starting with something that's just important for a moment, up to something that will be important your whole life. But then in the end, you have the kingdom of God, the thing that will grow the biggest and last the longest. And it's quite fun to draw this huge crowd. Just go along going circle, 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 and then put in the faces. Then you can put in the arms and legs, and getting smaller and smaller as you go back. And I think this is quite a fun illustration of that story that Jesus told. So, that's our first parable. We'll be back with another one next week. Bye for now.
Parables. Jesus spoke mostly in parables.
Yes, he did. But do you know what it means?
I do.
What is it?
It's a simple, short story that usually has a moral. Why are you asking?
I just wanted it to be said again so that the viewers can hear what it is. Some parables are easy to understand, whilst others are a bit challenging.
I agree. I know that some of the disciples asked Jesus what the meaning of some of them were.
We're lucky because many of them Jesus explained and were written down. But I think the mustard seed one is very interesting.
Why is that?
Because I have learned that the mustard seed is one of the smallest seeds, and when it's planted, it grows very, very quickly.
I know, and it usually grows just above 3 feet, but it can get up to 10 feet.
Wow. Is there anything else that you've learned about this parable? That's it for this week.
Till next time, bye!